Guys, how's it going today? Thanks again for joining me. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what I got done on the car over the weekend. Yeah, it's all the interior stuff, the carpet, got the panels in. For the most part, the interior is pretty much all buttoned up. The only thing I really have to put in are the sill plates, or kick plates, or whatever you're gonna call them. I know I said I was going to video that whole process, but to be honest with you guys, I was on kind of limited time that I could get to doing this stuff, so I was kind of in and out, back and forth on the project most of the time. And realistically, it's so straightforward. Most of you guys, if you're working on these cars, you've probably taken your interior apart a number of times. You know how to take it apart, put it back in. It's really simple. I just keep track of what screws and bolts and nuts and everything goes where, and that's really all there is to it. It goes in the same way it came out, just reverse. So I figured I would just kind of cover, show you the car, and then cover a few of the tools that are kind of handy to have around to make sure that you're successful with it, and a couple of the mistakes that one I made that you don't, that hopefully you guys can learn from, so you don't make the same mistakes. I got careless on part of it, and, it happens, but we'll be fine. So yeah, like I said, everything's in the car. I'm also going to kind of cover some of the stuff that I like and that I don't like about the products. It is what it is. There's, it's aftermarket stuff. It's not factory, so it doesn't fit quite like factory all the time. So just some things to watch out for. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, and I'll just kind of start by showing you the inside. Okay, so here we are. Obviously that door panel's been in there a while. That's no different. Carpet, all nice and black, all throughout there. Inside, I know it's kind of hard to see because everything's black now. I got that door panel in. I'm just waiting on the cover plates to come in from LMR for the for the window switches and all that good stuff. Those should be here later this week. Get those buttoned up and we'll be good to go. I still got to vacuum out the carpet from doing all the work and clean the seats and everything like that. We got the armrest pad on there. That's looking good. Back carpet here. I still have gray seat belts. The new seat belt sets are kind of expensive, so I'm gonna wait on those for a little bit. But yeah, guys, this is what we're after. I don't have the back seats in, and the reason being is that I'm reupholstering the backs of them, and that'll be in a separate video. So here's kind of one of the things that I wanted to show you. This carpet by the sill plate comes real long. It comes out to like right here, and so you got to cut it back a little bit. And back here, you can see I cut it back too far. It's fine all the way here, but I don't know what I was thinking, but I accidentally tapered that cut off too much. Once the sill plate goes on, it should be fine. I looked at it and it does cover it, so it'll be fine. And it's, we're fine there. So it's not that big of a deal, but I like to have I'd rather have a little bit extra than not quite enough. So I'm kind of bummed about that, but it is what it is. Just watch out when you're doing that, because that's real easy to do. I need to get some more covers for the bottom of this seat belt, because when I had that racing harness in here, I just stuffed this seat belt back into this quarter panel back here, and that cover is missing. I have it on the other side, but again, it's gray, so I'm not going to order new ones until I get the seat belts. I'm going to get it in the kit. That'll save myself some money. So the other thing is too, I've got all the panels in, the quarter panels, speaker covers, the roof panel. I'll show you that from the other side because that light out there is making it hard to see. So yeah, and it's all looking really good. I had to be real careful not to scratch up this stuff. There's a lot of movement in and out. So yeah, these are the quarter panels from the back of the car here on the inside, and I've even got the taillight interior cover panel in, which I haven't had in and God knows how long. I don't remember the last time that was in this car, so that's nice. Just kind of give it that completed look. One of the things I wanted to talk about as far as, I guess, kind of like a quasi product review, is this back hatch carpet. This is all dirty because I set the old piece of carpet on here because you've got these screws right here. One, two, the second one's over here somewhere. You've got two of them on each side, and they got to match up to these metal plates back here. And you know, I just used the existing holes to kind of drill holes through there. But so now keep in mind, none of this stuff is factory. You know, you can't get the factory stuff, so all you're left with is aftermarket. And this isn't a deal breaker. I'm not bent out of shape about it or anything. It's just a couple of things that kind of irked me a little bit. I don't like this piping around here. The factory stuff didn't have it. I honestly don't like it that much. I don't think it looks the best. It doesn't bum me out, but one of the reasons that I don't like it is look in this corner right here. So when these seats come down, if you can see that right there, even the factory carpet did this. You know, it kind of folds up against the side here, but with this piping, it makes it so that it just bunches up, and when it's back, it looks kind of crappy, to be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of that. Plus, these were actually a little long. These behind the seat things, they're a little bit longer than stock. So when you put it up, then it bunches up this area in the back here, if you can see that. So I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It just kind of, I'm just not huge on it. It's fine. The carpet looks really good. If you're just looking at it, it's great. But if you're gonna nitpick at it, then you're gonna have the same opinion I do, most likely. But I mean, you know, once everything's in here, it'll look good. I'm probably going to, if you can, let me lift this up. I've got the stock spare tire cover right there, but it's pretty misshapen, and it's bowed down in there quite a bit. So I'm probably just gonna get some, like, if I could find some 1/2-inch MDF, that would be cool, and then just cut out a piece for the whole back of this, so it'll raise it up a little bit. It'll get that carpet to set in there a little bit better, and it'll look a little nicer. So that should be good. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to the installation of these. There's like the 4 little clip things on the backs of here, and then there's a plastic piece that just slides down on those, and then you put those screws in on either side, and that's pretty much good to go. Just, you know, if you've got the factory piece, then be sure to mark those holes, because that's gonna make your life a whole lot easier. And if you don't, then what you can always do too is set it on there, get it to where you want, and then take a awl or a sharp object of some kind and stick it through the hole on one side, and then at least make yourself a hole so that you can so that you know where to put those screws. So that's pretty easy. As far as the rest of the carpet install, again, that awl is a lifesaver. Let me see. Oops. Let me see if I've got, well, I don't have the one in front of me, but it's basically one of these things, only with a straight tip instead of a 90 degree. And you pick these up from Harbor Freight. I think they're like $2 or $3 for a set, and they've got all different ones. But these are really, really helpful when you're doing this stuff, finding screw holes. They were real helpful in putting the interior panels back in because they don't line up perfectly because they're not the original panels. So they help me to feel around inside where the screws go and feel where that hole actually is, and kind of maneuver it a little bit so you can get it to line up. The other thing that is like you really have to do is go when you're doing, like, the driver's seat had studs on the front, which made it so much easier. But you've got your rear seat brackets back here on each side, and on the passenger side they're all bolts, so you've got 6 bolts, 2 nuts. At least that's how it is on this car. What you need to do is get under the car and get that awl and jam it up through the carpet and then cut around the awl. That way you know exactly where that hole is, because the last thing you want to do is cut the hole way too big and then have a big old gaping spot, because that would not be great. So anyway, this is looking good. I'm stoked. I still got to get in here with a hair dryer and smooth out some of the wrinkles and stuff like that that's in the carpet, but that's really no big deal. So yeah, that's about it. Let's see, what else was there? Overall, I'm pretty happy with how the carpet came out. I wish that there were certain areas that fit a little bit better, but it's just kind of how it goes with this stuff. With anything aftermarket, when it comes to these kinds of things, they can't always make it the exact way that it came from the factory 30 something years ago. So I'm happy. I'm just being a little picky about the whole thing. I think that's just about it. Like I said about the rear seats, I'm doing the seat backs on them, and I'll do a video on that too. So those aren't, the rear seats aren't going to go in until those seat backs are done. And, eventually I'm going to have some black seats in there. Once those seats go in, then I'll get the matching upholstery set for the back seats. And then, you'll have black on black completed interior, which will look good. But, the black and gray doesn't look terrible as it is, so I'm fine with that. All I can really say about the carpet install is take your time. Lay it out. You gotta wrestle with it a little bit, move it, shimmy it into place, make small cuts. I would definitely recommend getting kick panels, the rest of the panels in the car, everything that you can before making some cuts when you can. You'll know once you get it in there what it looks like, what you can cut, what you don't want to cut, or what you can wait on cutting. I'd recommend waiting on cutting the things that you can, so that you don't end up with something like I have over here. Luckily for me, it should be fine, but it can end up not being fine, and then you're stuck with something that doesn't look good, which isn't what you want. So yeah, quick update on this interior. I'm really sorry that I didn't film it, you guys. But honestly, it's just too much back and forth, and there's not anything really productive about, doing a time lapse of 4 hours of me getting in and out of the car and, moving stuff around and making little cuts here and there. That would be kind of boring. So I started out with the idea that that's kind of what I was going to do. And I was thinking that I could give you some more tips along the way, but to be honest with you, all the tips are pretty much everything that I've already said. And when you're in the middle of something like that, it's just, you kind of, your eye gets on the ball, and it's hard to break away. Plus the other thing is too, the only angle that I really had that was usable, where the camera wasn't completely in the way the entire time, it was just my ass the entire time. So nobody wants to see that for 10 or 15 minutes. So just, you really couldn't see what I was doing anyway. I guess I could have thrown the camera in the car, in the hatch here, but I would have had to move it around a lot. It was just another thing to keep track of. So anyway, that's what it is. And we got plenty more to do here. So you guys aren't going to miss out on much. I'm waiting on, like I said, some window switch covers and some push pins for the rear seat upholstery, and one more thing I forgot that I got this morning. Anyway, hopefully those will be here by the end of the week, and we can get the rest of this stuff done and installed by then. So other than that, I hope you guys are having a good one, and we'll catch up with you next time.